Hey fishers. Well, where do we start? I haven't done a fishing report for a couple of weeks. I've been away fishing myself and it wasn't bad. Excuse me, got a bit of a cold. Worked a little bit hard for them down the coast and the estuaries, but that's another story. We'll talk about that later. I was talking to Meso and he tells me there's a bit of activity down his way. Dartmouth's still okay, down deep. You need to fish deep. Early, late, middle of the day, doesn't seem to matter. But they are down deep and you'll get a good feed without too much trouble at all. All the streams are fishing really, really well. Extremely well, actually. A lot of trout. It's hopper and cricket time. Get into it. Go and have a bit of fun. The Hume, oh, by the way, the Middle River, I think they're letting environmental flow down that this week, so that might slow that one down a little bit. All the rest of the stream should be good. It won't take long before it settles again. The Hume Weir, a really mixed bag of reports from the Hume Weir. We're getting some amazing size redfin out of it. I'm talking, 38, 39, 40, 42, 43 centimetre fish, and big numbers of them in a couple of areas. If you can find them, you're gonna have a great time. Soft plastics, blades, little yabbies, doesn't seem to matter a great deal. But 90% of the fishermen are only going to get a few little ones because they're not lucky enough to find that school of big fish, and I think it's a bit of luck involved. You need to use your sounder correctly, and you need to hunt around a lot over the weir before you find those big fish. But they are there, I can assure you. If you have a look on our Facebook site, you'll see the photographs start to pop up, and they're extremely good redfin. And I'd rather chase the reddies nowadays than chase cod because they're just amazing fish. Speaking of cod, Moala, bit of activity down there. There's been a few cod getting caught. They had the dash for cash last weekend. There was a few fish caught, but over the last couple of days, Trent Frere and his mates and that have been down there, and a few other boys have been down there, and they're catching a few cod. You get them right on the edge of the weed beds, 2, 3, 3.5, 4 metres of water, swim baits, surface lures, spinner baits, doesn't seem to matter. Put in the time, you will catch fish without too much trouble at all. So my whalers are on the bit of a hit list. Murrumbidgee River, amazing fishing, as we all know. Generally always is. Not very often it goes quiet in the river, occasionally, and that's about all. Bait, lure, whatever your personal preference is, it doesn't matter. Get your boats in easy at the moment. It's perfect height, about a bit over 2 metres, 22 degrees water temperature around Wagga, so that'll be a bit warmer downstream, a bit cooler upstream, but it is pretty well sweet stuff for the fish. A lot of cod, few yellows, quite a few yellows upstream, happy with that. Almond Creek's been dead for ages, and the last 2 to 3 weeks we're getting a bit of a big improve on surface lure fishing in particular. Most blokes that go out, excuse me, most blokes that go out of an afternoon, that last 40-45 minutes before dark, picking up their fair share, getting a lot of boofs, a lot of solid strikes, a few hookups, and if you put in the time, you'll get your 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 for an afternoon, so we're happy with that. Not a lot of monster fish, 60 to 70 seems to pull them up, but a lot of 48s to 35, 35s to 48s, up to about 50. That seems to be pretty consistent. So we're really pleased with that scenario. Chermit River, fishing well, keep an eye on the flows. It varies a lot this time of year, and as it gets lower, it's going to get a lot easier. A lot of nice trout coming out of there at the moment. Blowering Dam, tough going, not a lot of activity out of there. The odd cod, the odd yellow, a few reddies, but you work pretty hard. Burrenduk's pretty much the same scenario. Junimar, not too bad off the bank, getting a few fish. Talbingo seems to be a bit better than normal. Trolling up there, not too bad at all, getting a few nice trout out of it and a few reddies. Happy days there. The top dams, Yukonbeen, Jindabyne and Tengra, yeah, they're all fishing, but you're working pretty hard for them. Tengra's probably the best one out of the lot. Wangler Dam, if I was heading somewhere, that's where I'd be going. It's more consistent than any of the other native dams around this area. Reasonable amounts of cod and yellow belly. You have the few off days, but most of it are good days. Trolling big spinner baits, that's definitely the way to go there. So we're really, really happy with that, especially the big fish food spinner baits, which we've just run out of, just about to make another batch of them. So in the next week or 2, we'll have another big batch sitting there. So it looks real promising at the moment. And I may even do an update on a saltwater report in the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so. We'll see what happens. But that's the Compleat Anglers Fishing Report for this week. We'll catch you next week.